would you guys be able to give us just a bit of an intro about yourselves, what you do? Yeah, not that you probably need much of an introduction, but yeah, just to give us a
That's all right. So we are dressage riders in New South Wales. Can you hear us okay?
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Cool.
So we are running our own business in the Southern Highlands of New South Wales, riding and training dressage horses of our own and for other people. And I think we both decided to do this as a job because we loved horses, we loved riding, we loved being outside. I think both of us said to each other, neither of us could sit in an office all day, so we need to do something outside. So we said, well, let's give this a go, and yeah, here we are. So yeah, that's what we do, and yeah, that's it.
Shoot us questions. I'm very good at this. Yeah.
We ride horses
For a reason. Yeah.
Yeah. We're both FEI Grand Prix riders. So yep. And yeah, can you guys tell us, how did you get into riding? Like, how did it all start for both of you?
Well, yeah, a little bit different for both of us. I was very fortunate. My mum had a property and was a coach. She has a business called Robbie Equestrian. She was a breeder, and I was on a horse when I was 2 years old, or less. I've literally been brought up through it, and yeah, always knew what I wanted to do. Dave was a little bit different.
Yeah, I came from a fairly non-horsey family, and I was just born obsessed with horses, and we lived in town. So I just, I was obsessed with them from the time I was little, and I kind of convinced my parents that I needed a pony. And so we moved to a bit of acreage, and they bought me a horse, and yeah, the rest is history. But unfortunately, they didn't really know what to do with the pony, and I didn't know what to do with it either, other than what I read in books. So I think my first pony, unfortunately, had a bit of a rough life because she didn't really, I think I Googled that we should worm them and get their feet done and things like that.
Some of the stories he tells are terrifying.
It was quite wild in the younger years, but then as I actually, met more horse people and got more involved in it, they sort of steered me in the right direction. So, yeah. Oh, we can't hear.
Not my sound. There's a problem this time.
No, we got one. Yep.
Did you hear any of that?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're on, Bethany.
Yeah. And how did you guys get into dressage?
Did you get into dressage?
Actually, my mum always was very interested in dressage, although we mainly did show horses. Mum actually bred Arabians originally. But I probably mainly got into dressage. We had a bit of a dud horse. So I bought a show horse that ended up being an absolute disaster. I think I was maybe 12 at the time, and we just had a real pear-shaped, one of those horses that you never want to hear about, one of those horrible buy stories that you hear. Anyway, we ended up getting gifted a Cremello stock horse. I think we're pretty sure he was stock horse. We actually never knew. And we needed to do something with him. And he was definitely not a show horse. He was horrible looking. But I had nothing else to ride. And as I say, Mum was always interested in dressage. She saw the talent in him. And from then on, I basically started training him as a 12-year-old. I'd always had a little bit of dressage, but that was probably my first real crack at it. I had lessons with my longtime trainer, Miguel Tavora. And from then on, I was hooked. I basically got fully into dressage. He was definitely not a show horse. I had no other choice. He took me to my first FEI horse, and that was my intro. So
yeah, awesome.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think how this all went. So there was a partner of my dad was a dressage rider, an instructor, and I was at that stage quite young. My parents had broken up, and this person came into our life, Sarah Venamore, who was an instructor, and she kind of guided me in that direction, I guess. And before that, I was just riding just around the paddock, jumping trees that we cut down, and you know, cantering through the dam when it was half empty, and just things like that. So nothing very fancy, too young. And then from then we met. Actually, I left school and was studying horticulture, and started working here actually at Centennial Vineyards in the vines, working in the vines in the garden, doing landscaping and pruning vines and whatever. And Mark, the guy that owns this place, was breeding warm bloods, and he had a mare that the foal died. And he said, well, you know, you like horses. Why don't, after work, you come and sit on this horse? And I think I fell off her probably more times than I actually stayed on her. And then we got her going and started competing her, and Mark drove in competitions, and got going that way. And from then on I was sort of hooked to it, and that was it.